as American cities kind of embrace going from a new phase of the pandemic, and all the citizens are embracing this new phase of the pandemic. But city leaders are saying we're shifting from crisis mode to more management of risk mode, right? But there's things that they say they're never going to change. They're never going to go back to the way it was. Examples would be traffic-free zones, different pedestrian parks, the extensive outdoor dining. There's just some things that have transformed cities that are never going to go back. The analogy over in pharma is we're dealing with something similar. There's things that, as the pandemic intersected with the pharmaceutical industry, there's things that may never change.
When you're going through pharmacy school, you're taught that you're going to be the most accessible healthcare provider to the general public. And I think maybe it was kind of a little bit eye-opening, and it kind of was a good experience in some ways, because the general population was able to kind of see this and to kind of take advantage of that also, But I think maybe that was sort of a good takeaway from it, is that our patients feel very comfortable with us. They're willing to talk to us a lot more. And because of that, we're helping them with their medication regimens, just making sure that they don't have any, what questions do they have that they maybe would be hesitant to ask before, or afraid, or think that there wasn't enough time. And it kind of just really opened up those channels and allowed us to build our relationships with them.
I've had reps in my office and we've done lunch, but never have I ever had sort of DoorDash delivered, a lunch or whatever, because they couldn't physically bring it. And so that happened. And I think we had some very good communications. And so I think, being able to do that, virtually like we're talking now with or without a meal, I thought was very valuable. And, in my experience, that interaction is better in person. Now that we're back up and open, people can come in, but I don't think a ton was lost, in the encounter.
We also realized the EHR is a lot more important now, right? Because so many doctors actually moved to telemedicine, where they're working from home and they're not even in the office to receive our shipments of copay cards. We needed to figure out a way for doctors to actually be able to either send a text or send an email directly to patients so that they can access our offerings. So we actually work through a ton of various options, one with ConnectiveRx, and actually placing our copay cards within the EHR, within the workflow. So as they go through the visit and they're talking to patients, a banner will pop up and say, hey, for this brand, you can actually enroll in a $10 copay card, click here and send it directly to your patient. And so we're seeing a lot more investment in those in-workflow type of tactics. And I don't think that's going to change. They've been very effective. And so we followed through, even as we change our thought process around the pandemic this year.